Hypertension is also known as high blood pressure. High blood pressure is nothing but if the systolic blood pressure is greater than 140 mm or if the diastolic blood pressure is greater than 90 mm is recorded in sphygmomanometer, that is known as high blood pressure or hypertension. There are types of hypertension based on the systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure. They are pre-hypertension, hypertension stage 1, stage 2 and pregnancy induced hypertension due to the changes in the hormones during pregnancy stage. So these are the types of hypertensions. And then next thing is etiology. Etiology is nothing but risk factors. The primary hypertension is mainly without any cause. There is no cause for the primary hypertension. When you consider secondary hypertension, it is mainly due to congenital narrowing of aorta. Because of the blood vessels, aorta will become narrow and it will cause secondary hypertension. And then other factors are also there. Other factors includes renal diseases, cirrhosis of liver, endocrine disorders, head injuries. Other types of many other reasons are also there for occurrence of this hypertension. The risk factors mainly includes the age greater than 50 years may cause this hypertension, and then alcohol, smoking habit and family history, obese people, the sedentary lifestyle means without any exercise lifestyle, that may also cause this hypertension. Mainly excessive intake of sodium may cause this hypertension. Next, clinical features of hypertension. There are no clinical symptoms, that is why it is known as silent killer. This disease is known as silent killer because of no clinical symptoms, but in some patients some symptoms may develop. So what are those? We can see severe headache will be there, dizziness will be there, vomiting sensation will be there, confusion will be there, and chest pain will occur, and shortness of breath irregularities will be there, heartbeat irregularities will be there. These come under symptoms of this hypertension. So how to diagnose this hypertension? By physical examination with sphygmomanometer you can diagnose this hypertension. You can also check the complete blood count of the patient, and you can check the X-ray of the chest, and also by electrocardiogram you can diagnose this hypertension in the patient. These are the diagnostic methods for determining hypertension. When it comes to management, there are for treating this hypertension there are two methods. They are lifestyle modification, pharmacological therapy. Lifestyle modification means nothing but by changing the lifestyle of the patient. How to change the lifestyle of the patient? By weight reduction, means the weight of the patient should be reduced by taking proper diet which requires reduced sodium, reduced alcohol, exercise, and by managing the stress. These are the things which have to be followed towards the lifestyle of the patient. These are the lifestyle modifications which has to be followed by the patient for reduction of this hypertension. And then when it comes to pharmacological therapy with the drugs, the first drugs, antihypertensive drugs, are diuretics. These diuretics will inhibit the reabsorption of sodium. Example is chlorothiazide and furosemide. And then after diuretics, the main important drugs are blockers. They are beta blockers. Beta blockers, what is the work of these beta blockers? They will reduce the workload of the heart workload will be reduced by beta blockers. Examples like atenolol and propranolol. And alpha blockers will also reduce the peripheral vasodilation. These will cause the peripheral vasodilation, dilates the blood vessels. Example is prazosin. They will dilate the blood vessels, constricted blood vessels. Example is prazosin. And then vasodilators, they will directly act on the muscles. As the name indicates, they will dilate the muscles, they will relax the muscles. Example is nitroglycerin and sodium nitroprusside. Next one, ACE inhibitors, they will reduce the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2, and they will prevent the vasoconstriction so that it reduces the hypertension. Example is captopril and ramipril. And the next drugs are calcium channel blockers. In the name itself it is there, calcium channel blockers. They will block the movement of these calcium ions into the cells so that it may cause the vasodilation. The vasoconstriction is totally removed through this vasodilation, and it also decreases the heart rate. Example is amlodipine and verapamil. So when it comes to pathophysiology of hypertension, it may cause because of genetic influence or environmental factors, it may cause these things. Defects in renal sodium homeostasis means sodium homeostasis is not maintained. Sodium levels are not maintained. Due to this, salt and water intake will be more and inadequate sodium excretion will be there, results in increased plasma and extracellular fluid levels, resulting in hypertension. And the next thing is, it may also cause functional vasoconstriction, so that it increases the vascular reactivity of the blood vessels, and then it leads to increase in total peripheral resistance, and it may lead to hypertension. And it may also cause defects in the vascular smooth muscles and increase in vascular wall thickness, and it may also result in hypertension. This is about pathophysiology of hypertension. Thank you. Subscribe to my channel for more informative videos.